Time for race 2. It's Senior Rotax, Heat 1, Groups D and E. Let's have a look at your starting grid. So on pole position, it will be the reigning and defending champion, the UK Sean Butcher, will be joined by Elia Papacena on the front row. Vic Stevens and Austin Lee on row number 2. Archie Walker and Farin Mega, row 3. Nolan Lemare and Lewis Gilbert, row 4. Jan Pinto and Matteo Pianizzola ran at the top 10. Frederick Zevis Christensen and Lotus Tween, that is row number 6, with Montego Masson and Kai Hunter, row 7. Matis Karninjak, Sebastian Bach, Kamal Murad, Paul Fouquemin, the oldest senior Rotax driver in the field, Daniel Houseworth and Mika Barthelemy ran at the top 20. Completing the 30-strong grid will be Sverre Uppen, Luca Schlegel, Scott Westhovens, William Christensen, Pat Gabels, Bapti Schneider, Jaren Schultz, Felipe Falk, Frederick Demant and Ralph van der Pevert. So every single race for seniors, DD2 and DD2 Masters will be 10 minutes plus an additional lap in duration. So each of the drivers will compete in a myriad of heats over the course of the day, with it being 3 races that will enable them to score as minimal points as possible to get through to the top 30 following the ranking after the heats after tonight has concluded. Then we will have the remaining 36, we'll have 36 out of the 76 drivers, so the bottom 10 will find that their day and their weekend will be at an end come the end of today. We'll have 36 drivers going into the second chance heat to battle for the final 6 positions in the top 36 that will go through to the pre-final and the finals here this weekend that will take place tomorrow. Field now starting to get up into formation as Butcher and Papacena will control the pace of the rolling start. They've got to get into position very, very quickly indeed. So Butcher and Papacena, Stevens and Lee, Walker, Mega, Lemere, Gilbert, Pinto, Pianizzola. That is your top 10. As they make their way out of the 12th and final corner. They split. They go into the tram lines, the revs rise. Are we ready? Are we steady? The first senior Rotax heat gets going. Good start by the pole sitter with Vic Stevens slotting in behind Archie Walker, also trying to make an early gain. Vic Stevens uses the runoff area. Archie Walker tries to pin it towards the outside of turn number 3. Is it 3 wide? Farin Mega was in the middle of all of that going through into turn number 4. But Walker up into 3rd place. Good move that might have been from Austin Lee up the inside as we've had one go over the back of another. That is the 333 of Jan Pinto, and that is the 330 of Denmark's Lotus Tween, mounting the rear bumper and going halfway along the 333's cart. So yellow flags, no surprise, at Marshall post number 3 off of turn 5. So Butcher has got a lead, and it's a comfortable one, 6 to 8 kart lengths at this time. Second is Vic Stevens. Third, it's Archie Walker. 4th, it's Austin Lee. Then it's Elia Papacena in 5th. Kai Hunter, Nolan Lemare, Farin Mega, Lewis Gilbert and Matteo Pianizzola round out the top 10. Also looks like Puck Gubbles dropped to the back of the order as well in the for the JJ Racing driver representing the Netherlands. But Austin Lee looking to get on with things early doors to try and get through into the top 3. Drivers hustling their way through the turn 7 chicane. We're just over a minute, nearly a minute and a half completed of this 10-minute plus an additional lap race. Sean Butcher's lead after the opening lap was nearly 3/4 of a second. As they make their way through turn 10, now through the left at 11. Things are starting to close up as Kai Hunter is really with Elia Papacena and goes up the inside through the final corner. Great move by the driver from Sunderland in the United Kingdom. Was just outside of the podium as Austin Lee looks up the inside of Archie Walker through into turn 2. A little bit robust from the 372 from Germany, but he makes the move stick. Walker did have to respond to that, and now he's got Kai Hunter breathing down the rear of his exhaust pipe right now as they come through turn number 6. So unfortunately, 2 retirements already. Jan Pinto and Lotus Tween, their cart stricken. on the outside of the Europalan, just off of the exit of turn number 6. Butcher's lead was slightly truncated by 2.5 tenths of a second after the second lap. So Vic Stevens looking to try and move forward. As Archie Walker has lost out to Elia Papacena, and that is Scott Westhovens, and he was off at turn number 10. Hit the foam padding on the inside just before the tyre wall, and I think might have just about gotten away with that. He is actually up to full racing speed, so no harm, no foul there. And there is the 329, Lewis Gilbert getting through on Firing Mega, the 343 from Germany, coming through turn number 6. So that is a change for what is now 7th position. Maybe make that 6 because he's right behind Archie Walker. So at the moment, Butcher leads, Stevens, Austin Lee, Kai Hunter, Elia Papacena. That's the top 5. Now Lewis Gilbert up the inside through the final corner. The Scotsman flying his way past Archie Walker down the start-finish straight. They are side by side. Gilbert gets an assist, and in the meantime, Vic Stevens goes for the lead on Sean Butcher, gets it. And now it's opened up the floodgates. Kai Hunter up the inside of the 301 through turn number 4. Butcher not giving any quarter whatsoever, defending as if his life depended on it. And now he drops to 3rd place. A little bit further back, there is a bit of a train behind Lewis Gilbert, but they are catching. They are catching the quintet in front. And now Vic Stevens starting to break away with Kai Hunter in tow. Butcher in 3rd as Fahin Mega looking up the inside. And that was a bit wide there from, I think that might have been Matteo Pianizzola. Nolan Emery not too far adrift from this either. So we're just coming towards the halfway point of this race. And that's a great move from Elia Papacena. That was up the inside of Austin Lee. And there's Lewis Gilbert ready to pounce once again. He goes to the inside of Austin Lee as Sean Butcher retakes 2nd position as Kai Hunter now has the lead. So Butcher takes 2nd from Stevens. And also we're going to have 2 more retirements. Ralph van der Pevert and William Christensen look to be out of this race as well. As Papacena has a lunge up the inside of him from Lewis Gilbert, and the Italian has nowhere but to go left. And now there's a bit more drama coming through turn number 9. There's one off the circuit. One off the circuit and sideways. I think that might have been Papacena at that point. So 4 minutes and 33 seconds plus an additional lap still remains in this first of 10 senior Rotax heat. Hunter leads, Butcher 2nd, Stevens, Gilbert, Lee, Mega, Pianizzola, Archie Walker, Paul Forquemin now up into 9th place. Sebastian Bach now rounds out the top 10. So Elia Papacena has dropped towards the bottom part of the top 20. Move up the inside. That was the 338 on the 904. So that was Sebastian Bach on Paul Forquemin. Bit of a unusual whack over the curbs through turn 7 for Vic Stevens, who still at this moment holds on to 3rd place. Just over 3.5 minutes still to go. And Hunter is still holding on to a lead. It was 6.5 tenths, now it's 0.48. So the 2 behind are closing in. Top 3 covered by 7 tenths of a second. We're now on to lap number 7. We're down to 26 drivers out of 30. So Ralph van der Pevert and William Christensen from the Netherlands and Denmark, respectively, are out of the race, I'm afraid. And some more attempts of overtakes happening, one of which was by the 396. And that is Daniel Hausworth from Austria, battling away with Matis Karnijak and Mika Barthelemy. So might have made the move on the latter, the 914 for 14th place. And now that Lewis Gilbert's got some clear air, can he start pushing and close on in on the 3 in front? He's very capable of doing so. He did finish 3rd last year in the Euro Trophy. just by a smattering of points. Half a second covers the top 3 with 2.5 minutes remaining. Top 10 covered by just over 3.6 seconds. Fastest lap of the race just been posted by Lewis Gilbert in 4th place, 54.586 seconds. As Butcher goes for the move up the inside for the race lead. On Kai Hunter gets through. So Butcher waiting for his opportunity to get through on Kai Hunter for that race lead. And now, whilst they've been scrapping, Lewis Gilbert is there. He's right on the back bumper of Vic Stevens as they come through down into turn 10. Gilbert with an opportunistic move and gets through on Vic Stevens like millimetres between the pair. And that's allowed Austin Lee to come back into the fight as well. Farin Mega, who's come back from injury, fractured his left elbow late last year due to a moped incident, has had surgery, as now there's going to be a change again. Vic Stevens returns the favour to Lewis Gilbert, who has a little bit of a touch with the rear bumper of the 369. And now the top 2 are pulling away. Butcher trying to defend whilst trying to pull away from Kai Hunter, and that is easier said than done. And Hunter's towards the inside, gets through down the Europalan, down into turn 7, and the 395 from the United Kingdom gets back through for the race lead. Top 10, it was 3.7 seconds after 8 laps. After 9 laps, it was 3 seconds covering the top 10. And we better be a bit careful, a little bit behind the top 3. Less than 60 seconds to go. There is Austin Lee, Farin Mega. And that is also the 391 of Archie Walker. As Butcher now trying to go on the offensive. He's got to just keep his eyes and his wits about him because Vic Stevens is there, ready and waiting in the wings. Through turn 4 once again. Now through into turn number 5. Stevens swings to the outside at turn 6 as Archie Walker tries to get the undercut on Farin Mega, as there's a little bit of a run wide. That was by the 356 of Matteo Pianezzola from Italy. Still holding on to 9th as things stand. 12 seconds still to go. This and one more lap remains. We're on lap number 11 out of 12. And it still is a bit of a dogfight at the front of the field with Kai Hunter leading the way. Sean Butcher in second, Vic Stevens in third. Then it's Lewis Gilbert and Austin Lee who ran out the top 5. Farin Mega just has lost out 6th position to Archie Walker, and everyone has been compromised behind, including Paul Forquemin, Matteo Pianezzola and Sebastian Bach. And Pianezzola drops to 10th place as a direct result of that accordion train right there. We're on to the final lap of the race. 4 tenths cover the top 3 after 11 laps of racing. Butcher switches the inside ever so briefly down the back straightaway through between turn 6 and 7 to hold on to that second place. He might still have an opportunity to have a run at Kai Hunter, but sometimes it's not always about going for the win. It's also about getting good results and consistent results. Out of turn 11 come the top 3. Stevens again switches the outside through turn 12. Is he going to get the undercut on Sean Butcher? Kai Hunter's going to win the race. Who's going to win between Butcher and Stevens? It is Butcher by next to nothing, 44 thousandths of a second. 3 wide across the line, a little bit further back, around about 16th to 18th position. But Kai Hunter takes the win in the opening senior Rotax heat out of 10 by 0.448 seconds. Ahead of Sean Butcher, Vic Stevens rounds out the top 3 with Lewis Gilbert, Austin Lee, Archie Walker, Farin Mega, Paul Forquemin, Matteo Pianezzola and Sebastian Bach rounding out the top 10. Frederik Zebis Christensen was 11th ahead of Kamal Murad from Australia. Mika Barthelemy, Nolan Lemeray, Matis Kalnijak round out the top 15 with Sverre Uben, Daniel Halsworth, Montego Masson, Jaren Schultz and Lukas Schlegel rounding out the top 20. Elia Papasena might have started on the outside of the front row but finished 21st ahead of Puck Gubbles, Baptiste Schneider, Felipe Falk, Frederick Demant and Scott Westhovens, with Ralph van der Pavert and William Christensen retiring with 3 laps completed, and Jan Pinto and Lotus Sween out on the opening lap. So it's all thumbs up and smiles before the first of 10 senior Rotax heats would get underway here at the home of champions karting Genk. 30 drivers would then head into the tram lines, the revs would rise and the lights would go out first time of asking. And it was a good start from the pole sitter Sean Butcher as Elia Papasena switched over to the left-hand side to try and cover those on the inside line. But that did give the opportunity to Vic Stevens and Archie Walker, amongst others, to get their way through the field. A little bit of tangling, and then the moment where Lotus Fiend went over the back bumper of the 333 of Jan Pinto, eliminating them both on the spot. Not the greatest way to start their race weekend. Austin Lee definitely factored in as he centred up the inside of Archie Walker, 2 wheels in the air, Knight Rider style from the 379 from Germany through turn number 2 to get past the 391 from KR Sports. And then there was the moment where, well, it looked like it was 3 karts involved because William Christensen went into the side of Scott Westhoven's, who was able to retrieve his kart without any assistance, the engine still running. And then this battle between the leaders really started to pick up pace because Vic Stevens centred up the inside of Sean Butcher, who then had Kai Hunter directly to the inside of him through turn number 4. Butcher was trying to keep it pinned around the outside, but had to relinquish that second position and dropped to 3rd. Elia Papasena was at the back of that quintet. And Yannick Sola would go up the inside of Austin Lee through turn number 12 to take 4th place. So the Italian trying to make a comeback, and then Lewis Gilbert thought, well, the door's wide open for me, I'm going to go for it, and went side by side with Austin Lee, and managed to get past before turns 1 and 2. Sean Butcher would retake the lead a little bit later on in the race, ahead of Kai Hunter, with Vic Stevens swarming all over the back of them. Even Lewis Gilbert got into the top 3 and Vic Stevens decided to counter-attack, and then Austin Lee thought, well, you know what, I'm going to give it a go as well. Tried to do the switchback through turn number 4. Archie Walker managed a great move up the inside through on fire in Mega, and then it concertinaed and compromised drivers such as Paul Forquemin. Then Sean Butcher would find himself embroiled in a battle with Vic Stevens for second position as they both came out of the final corner side by side. Kai Hunter would win the opening race. Butcher in second, Stevens in third, with Lewis Gilbert and Austin Lee completing the top 5.